Welcome to our YouTube channel. Here, we dive deep into the most intriguing and chilling true crime stories, unraveling mysteries, uncovering hidden details, and exploring the darkest corners of human nature. If you're fascinated by real-life crime, captivating investigations, and gripping courtroom dramas, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Join our community of crime enthusiasts and be the first to discover new cases as we bring you closer to the truth, one story at a time. Thank you for your support, and let's explore these mysteries together. In February 2003, Anil Chohan, a successful businessman who owned CIBA Freight, a fruit import-export company based at Heathrow, vanished along with his entire family, his wife Nancy, their two young children, Devinder and Ravinder, and his mother-in-law, Charanjit Kaur. Chohan was known for his easygoing demeanor and was well-liked by his employees, who described the workplace atmosphere as one big happy family. The sudden disappearance of the entire Chohan family shocked friends and relatives, sparking a massive police investigation into what had happened to them. The sudden disappearance of the entire Chohan family shocked friends and relatives, sparking a massive police investigation into what had happened to them. The investigation soon turned its focus on Kenneth Regan, a recently released ex-convict who had previously been a drug smuggler known as Captain Cash. Regan had a long criminal history and had used freight companies as a cover for his drug trafficking activities in the past. Upon his release, he sought employment at CIBA Freight, presenting himself as someone looking for a fresh start. Anil Chohan, who had been in trouble with the law himself for tax evasion, was sympathetic to Regan and offered him a job as a driver. However, Regan had ulterior motives, seeing CIBA Freight as the perfect front for his drug smuggling operations. He devised a plan to take over the company. Regan's plan was as cold-blooded as it was cunning. He wanted to eliminate the Chohan family to seize control of their business without drawing any suspicion. After securing a job at CIBA, Regan began to slowly earn Chohan's trust. He proposed a fake business deal, suggesting that some investors were interested in buying CIBA Freight. Chohan, believing the offer to be genuine, agreed to meet these supposed investors. On the day of the meeting, Regan lured Chohan away from his office under the pretext of closing the deal. That was the last time Chohan was seen alive. Shortly after, Regan produced a forged letter stating that Anil Chohan had sold the company and was retiring abroad with his family due to health issues. This letter raised suspicions among Chohan's acquaintances, but the busy nature of the company made it difficult for employees to take immediate action. As days passed, concerns grew when no one heard from the family. Investigators were eventually called in, and a missing persons investigation was launched. As the investigation progressed, the police began to piece together the chilling details of Regan's plan. It became evident that he had not only forged documents, but also meticulously planned the disposal of the bodies to cover his tracks. The breakthrough came when forensic experts discovered evidence of a burial site on a farm belonging to Belinda Bruin, a woman whom Regan had pursued obsessively in the past. On the farm, investigators found burnt clothes, hair, and jewelry that belonged to the Chohan family, indicating that they had been buried there temporarily before being moved elsewhere. The remains of Anil Chohan and his wife Nancy were eventually discovered in the sea near Bournemouth, but the bodies of their two young children, Devinder and Ravinder, were never recovered. This added a particularly heartbreaking element to the case, leaving their relatives and the public in horror at the brutality of the crime. Regan's actions suggested that he was willing to go to any lengths to get what he wanted, including murdering innocent children. Detectives used new forensic technology to track the movements of both Regan's and Chohan's mobile phones on the day of the disappearance. This tracking, along with other evidence like financial transactions and witnesses' testimonies, allowed them to connect Regan, along with his accomplices William Hornsey and Peter Reese, to the murders. The men were tried in a trial lasting 9 months, with the prosecution describing the crimes as beyond belief. The evidence presented, including the forged documents and the forged signature of Chohan, painted a grim picture of the premeditated nature of these murders. The trial culminated in April 2005, becoming one of the longest criminal trials in the history of the Old Bailey. Regan and Hornsey were found guilty of the abduction and murder of all 5 members of the Chohan family. Both men were sentenced to 5 consecutive life terms without any possibility of parole. Peter Reese, overwhelmed by guilt, also confessed his involvement, further solidifying the case against Regan and Hornsey. Despite the convictions, the mystery surrounding the precise details of how and when the murders took place remains unresolved, particularly regarding the fates of the 2 young children. The story of the Chohan family is a chilling reminder of how greed can drive someone to commit unspeakable atrocities. Kenneth Regan, in his pursuit of wealth, showed a complete lack of moral conscience, proving he was willing to destroy an entire family just to get what he wanted. This case continues to be one of the most shocking examples of crime motivated by greed in recent history.